Howdy everybody, it's Brian and welcome back to BG Model Workshop, where we like to say that we've been making things gooder since 2017. We're doing the final on our 1940 Ford from AMT slash Ertl. And this was part of the, what's that called again there? The Scale United Content Creators of YouTube, or as I like to say, Sucky. We had a challenge for doing this particular kit that was brought to us in part by both Luka Cee and also by Mr. Mark Batson. They kind of had a challenge they posted, and I was down for it. I was ready to go, and then I realized I didn't have a kit, and then I was talking to Matt about it over at Andy's one day when we were hanging out, and I was like, lo and behold, they had this kit on the shelf, and here's the side box side right there is a box flap. And it's all in shot. There you go. Cool. Good job. So our particular issue is from 1993. It was made for decades before that, and it's still being made to this day in its various forms. There's a panel van version that looks pretty cool. I wouldn't mind getting my hands on a version of that thing because I think that would be a lot of fun to rust up and everything. And I've been following along with a lot of other folks that have actually been doing this challenge as well. And I've been really hesitant to actually do a final on ours because I think we did a good job for what we had. Did I push the envelope on my building skills? Probably not. I did play it safe with just removing the spear down the side. We just sort of shaved that off, and I really like that look. And then we also took off the drip rail that goes around. We kind of shaved that off also. We were inspired to do that because we did make a mistake up in this area here. We were doing some filing and sanding and nicked that pretty badly. So I thought I could fix it, but I could also take it off and see how it looks. And I really liked how it did, so I stuck with it. And then we also removed the hinges off the doors. I thought that would be a nice clean look also. I did keep the door handle. I thought that would be kind of weird to not have a door handle on there, you know, the slab side. I wasn't kind of digging. Perhaps if I'd left the spear on there, I would take the door handle off because there's not a lot of visual interest there at all. One thing I was considering was just simply shaving off the door handle and then sneaking it all the way up forward here and putting it in the front and having suicide doors. How cool would that have been, right? Yeah, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I did start the build a little bit later than everybody else, I believe. Not as late as Louis did. Boy, golly, he started and then finished before everybody else. But he started late and finished before everybody else, but he did a bang-up job on his. On ours, we did kind of experiment with color mixing, and I'm liking that. I'm really liking that aspect of model building, and I want to kind of get into that a little bit more. And what we used was sky blue, I keep saying T, X14 sky blue, and we used 5 parts of that to about 3 parts of the XF18 medium blue. To give us this nice pretty shade, and I really like it a lot. I'm going to refer to it as BG blue from now on, so that's going to be my official shop color. I was trying my hardest to match what was in the thumbnail photo. I really like that vehicle. That was my inspiration vehicle for this build, and after mixing up the color and everything, I was showing it to Mrs. BG, and she was like, you know, there's actually a lot of green in that. So she was right. That was actually like showroom green or something, like some interesting name for a color that Ford had back in the day. We did a few coats of the color. This is about all I have left now, and it does fall out of suspension very quickly, so we have it pretty well thinned out, and we did get a nice decent shine out of the airbrush, but we still did go over it with X13, about 3 coats of that, because we were having trouble with getting little boogies and stuff like that in there and having to polish it out and everything. So we did do liberal coats of polish on the roof and the trunk lid, and then the sides also. We just sort of just smoothed it all out, and we used a lot of Tamiya polishing compounds. I have this one here's I have the fine and the finish, and I had to borrow some from my buddy James, the heavy cut, and it all worked out really great. And then we finished it all off with some Novus wax, and I really like, you can see that it has a nice gloss to it. The wheels and tires, those are actually parts box wheels and tires, and they're from the Revell 1929 3-in-1 rat rod pickup truck kit. And I still had the beauty rings and center caps, so I went ahead and stuck those on there. The wheels were painted back in the day. I don't remember how long ago they were painted, but I do remember they were painted in Chevy engine block orange, and I think that that is a nice set off with the actual body color. So I do like that. I think if we had done more of a green to the blue coloring, that this particular shade of red probably wouldn't play so well. Up in the front here, we just did a little bit of panel liner on the actual grille, both the painted area and the chrome area. We were talking about doing the double bumpers, the ones that had like the double hoops, and they just didn't look right for this particular build, so we went ahead and nixed that and went with the original solid beam bumpers. And we did have to fix that bumper mounting bracket, and it worked out just great. There was supposed to be a little notch cut into that bumper bracket for a pin on the back side of the bumper to sort of slot into. And because there was 3 other pins to help everything line up, I just went ahead and shaved the one off the back of the bumper and then cemented everything together, and we were happy. Had to use a lot of clamps to get it all to line up and stuff, but we did get it in the end. The side bits here, down here, the little steps, that's actually rubber black. It is XF85 from Tamiya, and we actually just thinned that a little bit with some paint retarder and hand brushed those on. We did 2 coats of that, and I really like how it looks. We were a bit hesitant to try and mask and paint because I know that Tamiya jar paints sometimes have an adhesion issue. I didn't want to be pulling off chunks of paint. We were running down to the wire. We wanted to get this thing done, and I didn't want to make any mistakes like that. So I was like, I would rather take the risk of brush painting those rubber mats on the side there than try to mask off around the fenders and spray it. So that's what we did, and it paid off. It looks really good to my eye. To my undiscerning eye. And then also the gas cap. We decided to go ahead and just put the gas cap on there. I know a few guys were like, oh, you don't need to put the gas cap on there or whatever, but I thought, yeah, we'll put the gas cap on there, and then we realized there's no real place to put the gas. It's sort of a general area thing, so tried to match that up as best we could. The taillights are a little bit of a frustration. They are chrome plated, and mine aren't molded that great, so we did a lot of filing and sanding and stuff to get those to fit in there a little bit better. We had to sand them and thin them out because they did stand prouder than the hole was molded, so we took care of that. And then we deleted the trunk handle and license plate. Just didn't like that look, so we just left it as it were. Around the back side there, we just did some black around the windows to make it look like that we had like the rubber gaskets in there, and the interior, the glass, it's all molded in one piece, and it is not good. My buddy James gave me some really good advice. He's like, you need to cut the front piece off and then install the rear piece and then push the front piece up as far forward as you can, otherwise it's not going to fit quite right. And boy, howdy, was he right. So as a matter of fact, on the top of the glass piece runner up in this area here, I actually had to grind that down because it was kind of bubbly and raised and wasn't allowing the glass to fit very well. And which also means that the interior tub wasn't going to fit very well because their shoulders touch and everything goes together. There is a small little clear chrome piece that is supposed to fit right in here for the front window support. I deleted that. I just left it out. I didn't even bother with it. I was like, a lot of other guys aren't doing it, so I'm like, I'm just going to leave that as it is. I've talked to a couple of guys that are old school hot rodders and like, oh yeah, the 40 Ford, you could actually pull the windshield out and then put in a newer one that didn't have that support in the center. And that's kind of like how those conversations were going. So I believed them. So, and we'll notice that the hood sits just a little bit high in the back here, and that's simply because we added magnets last night and we haven't got them perfectly aligned yet. So let's go ahead and take the hood off and see how that looks inside. There we go. So our little magnets right in there. See how we have a little bit of play. We can pop those off and sink them just down a little bit, and I think that'll give us the room we need. But yeah, that's ugly. I apologize. That's ugly. I wasn't going to show that, but I did it anyway. And now for the cut to grass of the whole thing, the engine bay. This thing is my pride and joy right in here is the engine bay, and let's just pick them up and bring them forward. So we did do a little piece of aluminum over the grill area there, and I tried to make it look like it had some grinder marks on there and stuff. You know, like somebody's messing around with the grinder. I always used to do that when I was working with stainless steel and aluminum, stuff like that. But we did a little bit of weathering on the radiator. We left the radiator pipes engine block color. I thought that looked cool, and you can see the alien eye intakes up there. That's a different intake we decided to do on this guy. And then we also did some plugs and wires, and I really like that. Our wires and plug boots came from ProTech, and I really like how it looks. It looks a little busy, but it's nice. And then we just did a little bit of detailing on the firewall. Several other guys shaved that thing smooth, and that looked so nice. But I'm like, yeah, this looks like something that I wanted this to look like something that I put together myself and drive back and forth to the grocery store on an odd Sunday. And then down inside the engine bay, we can just barely see I have some Go Faster stickers. I have some Ertl and Crane Cam decals down inside there. And then on the other side, I have a STP decal and other such things going on there. But I was really debating whether or not I should finish off the hood or just leave it as this, because I really like that intake system sticking up there. That is just so cool. It's like little antenna peeking up over there going, you know, sniffing the air. But yeah, I had a lot of fun building this one. The thing is that I was struggling with this build specifically because I wasn't listening to the kit. And this is where it's going to get kind of all touchy-feely. But I wasn't listening to the kit. I was just building what I decided this kit needs to be, and therefore the kit fought me. I truly believe that when you're building a model kit, sometimes you have to listen to what the kit tells you it wants to be, because if I was to do that, that would not look like this at all. Not in the least. While I'm building this thing, the car's going, you know what? I don't want to be blue. I want to be pearl white, and I want to have SoCal style scallops on it, and I want to be chopped, and I want to be lowered, and I want to have salt flat racer stuff all over me. And I'm like, no, shut up. You're going to be this color, and you're going to like it. And the kid's like, okay, you know. So that's how it came out. But anyway, I want to say thanks again to Luka and to Mark Batson for hosting this type of thing. I want to say congratulations to all of my friends that are out there that have completed in time. And if you're one of the guys that just didn't quite make the deadline, keep at it, man. You guys are doing great work. I really appreciate everything you're doing out there, and it's just so awesome to be able to do a kind of a group build like this and talk and chat to folks and share and swap stories about what you're doing and all that kind of jazz. It's just a lot of fun. So we're going to go ahead and sign off now, and we're going to get on to other projects because we are now free at last. All right, y'all, take it easy, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.